Alright, so what I wanted to talk to you about is my anxiety and depression. And yes, it is, it's both very common, but they have both been really affecting me lately for maybe like the past 6 months. It's been really affecting me, and I know that if you are going through this out there, I know there's a lot of people that deal with anxiety or depression or both or any other mental illness. You are not alone, and I wanted to make this video just to open up to you guys a little bit and make you feel that you aren't alone and that it is a thing. And people do go through it, and it is hard, but I'm going to talk to you about some ways how I haven't gotten over it, but how I've dealt with it and maybe like improved how I feel. So for a little over a year now, I've known I've had it, anxiety that is, and depression is linked, and I've definitely had some of that as well. But I went to the doctor about a year ago, and I was just like a physical with my mom, and I had been dealing with it and battling it, and I was explaining how I would get panic attacks, and it was so scary. I thought I was having a heart attack, trouble breathing, wanting to throw up. It was really affecting me, and it's something that can affect you on a day-to-day basis, and if you are dealing with it, it's not something you just want to keep dealing with, because it could be really hard to focus on school and other things in your life that are really important to you. So I went to the doctor, and she recommended that I go to a therapist. And this may work for some people, but it didn't exactly work for me. So I went to the therapist about maybe almost a year ago now, and it went absolutely terrible. She wanted me to just automatically tell her all my problems, but I think part of having anxiety and depression is not being able to tell people your problems. It's hard. Like, a lot of times you just want to hold them inside you, because you just feel like no one else can understand like what you're going through and like how it feels, and it's just upsetting. She immediately wanted me to tell her all my problems, but being a complete stranger, there's no way I wanted to do either of that. I just started crying. I'm being completely honest with you, and I never went back, because I just felt completely terrible about myself afterwards. Like, oh, she's only wanting to do this because she gets paid for it, and I'm not saying like, of course, like a lot of people do that, but like, she was like, this is gonna take a while, when I wouldn't tell her. So therapy was not working for me, but I started noticing my grades were starting to slip. This is when I had my counselor at school called me into a meeting with my mom and I, and anxiety was pretty much taking me over. It was putting a mental block over me. I wasn't able to focus on my schoolwork. I wasn't really able to focus on anything. I didn't want to do anything. And it is really hard when you're like this, because like, this was my junior year, I'm now a senior, and it can be super hard, especially during this. Like, it's so overwhelming, and the stress and the hard classes, and I mean, thinking that you're so stressed out all the time, it kind of drives you insane, and you try and act like you're not, but you really are, and you just don't want to talk about like what you're going through. After talking to my counselor and my mom, he recommended that I do like independent study and like an online class. And so that's what I did, and that didn't really work out so well for me. I procrastinated a ton. So now I am back at school, and it has been really, really hard, especially with all my stress and anxiety and like busy life and my modeling. And lately I've kind of noticed the same mental block coming over me again with like the stress and like not wanting to do anything. About a few months ago, I started realizing my anxiety was getting really bad. It was getting to the point where I would come home and I would cry every day, and I know this sounds, I don't want anyone to feel sorry for me at all. Like, a lot of people battle this. It was really hard for me. Like, I was starting to like stress eat a little bit. Like, I just felt like terrible about myself, and that, my friends, is depression. Sometimes you're so sad about things when you're depressed, like you don't even know why you're sad, but you know, like you try and be happy, but it's just not working. Stress eating is a thing, and it is linked to depression, so I did put on a few pounds, but when I went to the doctor, I realized that I needed help. So she prescribed me for anxiety medication. I've been on that for about like a month and a half now. And it doesn't always work the best for everyone, but it has really been helping me. I do feel a lot better. Anxiety is still there and depression can still exist, which it does, but I feel a lot better. I'm not like overeating. I haven't been eating as much anymore, which is a good thing. One of the side effects is like loss of appetite. I'm not saying this is going to affect everyone, but it really has been helping me, and I'm really grateful that I was able to be put on something. And I know everyone deals with different levels when they have it. Anyways, anxiety is very, very common, but severe anxiety, I'm not exactly sure what type of anxiety I have. Like, I'm supposed to go to a psychiatrist to figure that out. But pretty much in a lot of situations, it could be when you have to present in class, it could be before a big event, it could be at a like concert with a ton of people, social anxiety. There's a ton of different things, and some things that have really helped me with it, sometimes you just need to find an escape, and modeling has really been my escape through my stress, and it feels so good. I forget like what even exists. Like, behind the camera I'm someone else, and I love it more than anything. And I think like finding your escape is super important, because finding like an outlet, I guess, like a stress outlet, there's a ton of things you could do, whether you like working out or whatever. Going to the gym has helped me as well, but anything like maybe even watching like your favorite Netflix show, just something that kind of takes your mind off things. And I know this sounds kind of bad, but no, it actually does help, just trying to find that, and honestly like trying to balance your life. I totally sound completely absurd, but yes, getting enough sleep really does help. I know when you get less sleep, you're stressed out, you gain weight, you can't focus, you're like, like that's how I feel a lot of times, like when I don't get a lot of sleep for school. And right now I don't know whether I'm going to finish the school year at my public school, and if not, I will be doing online classes and independent study. But honestly, it's like whatever works out for you. At the end of the day, no matter what anyone says, no matter what your friends say, your family says, like what's holding you back, if you can't handle it, if you want to leave school, I'm not telling you to leave school, of course, but if it's like really bad, I know like online school is helpful for people who battle like anxiety and stuff, and it did help me a little bit. I did miss my friends sometimes, but it's like whatever works for you. Like, I'm not very self-motivated, so it ended up being really hard for me. I want you guys to feel comfortable. If you want to message me on my Instagram, the link is in the down bar. You can go ahead and leave any comments and questions down below. I'm definitely here to answer them. I mean, I'm not a professional, but like these are some ways that have helped me, and I'm describing like how I have dealt with it and how I feel about it. I still need to go to a psychiatrist to figure out more in depth, but I know that you are definitely not alone, and that it is really hard sometimes, like, you know, just like feeling like you don't know why you're sad, but it really does, it does get better if you honestly, like, I know it sounds crazy, either getting on medication, seeing a therapist, talking to a good friend, whatever it is, whatever's your escape, working out. I know like your mental health is really important, your health is really important, and you don't want that to get in the way of your life. And I know that it is a struggle, but it is manageable, and you can get through it, and you can deal with it, and you can make it better. So it's kind of how I cope with it, and that is pretty much all I have to say about it. I could go on and on, but so thank you guys so much for watching. I know this is more of a serious note, and I just want you guys to know that I am not like a sad person. This is just something I deal with. Like, I love YouTube more than anything. I haven't been doing it for very long, but I love it. I feel happy. Like, I feel like I can be myself. I love being in front of the camera, so definitely I love it, and I am not a sad person. I'm like happy, I'm like outgoing, I'm kind of like lively, but pretty much like this is just something I wanted to talk about because I know a lot of people deal with it, and I just wanted to let you know you're not alone. I wanted to share my story on it, and thank you guys so much for watching, and you guys can go ahead and give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and if you deal with anxiety or depression, or you know someone, like go ahead and give it a thumbs up. I would love it if you subscribe to me. I post videos weekly usually, and hopefully more soon. I want to start vlogging. If you want me to start vlogging, go ahead and comment down below. I know I'm new at this, but I really, really have a passion for it. And if you guys aren't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe because I would love that. And thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye.